Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another stream from Hugo's desk. I am Hugo Guerra, and I'll be here with you for the next maybe an hour and a half, probably close to 2 hours. We're gonna be doing the the penultimate. Oh, I can't speak English now. Well, basically, there's two more streams until the end of the year. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. And so this is the Deconstruction series. As you know, on this episode, on these streams, we usually open up production shots, real production shots. In this case, we have been quite deep into the production shots from the Zeiss project that I directed last year. So we've also been joined by Bjorn. He's going to join us today again. And we're almost done with the shot, really. Like, the only thing left, really, is the breakdown of the main script, where we have all the CGI and gathered all the roto and painting of everything that we've done so far. And so I expect that this stream will be mainly about that script. And then, of course, we still have a final stream in 2 weeks from now. And on that final stream, most likely we're going to discuss other shots on the project and also like wrap up anything else and maybe have questions and things like that. But yeah, I can see a lot of familiar people in the chat. As always, just let everyone know that I'm streaming simultaneously on YouTube and also on Twitch. Now, obviously on Twitch, we don't really have a lot of people watching there, but just wanted to let you know that I do have both chats open here, so I can talk with both people from Twitch and both people from YouTube. It's up to you which one you prefer to do, Apologies, I forgot to click on a button there. So, as you can see on my shirt, this stream is sponsored by Foundry. I can't really emphasize enough of how much support they've given to my channel over the years, and I can't really thank enough everyone at the Foundry by supporting the channel, sponsoring these streams, and making these streams really a reality, because without them this would never happen. So thank you so much to Kirsten, thank you so much to Jan, thank you so much to Elise. Really want to thank everyone and their team for the amazing support. So basically, before we even begin, as I can see, I have my shirt and I have my little pin saying "Ask me anything about Nuke." Before I begin, I just wanted to give a bit of shout out to the Foundry, and with that in mind, I'm going to run their commercial for it's just only 30 seconds, and so they are the sponsors of this stream. So I'm just going to run it, and then I'll be right back, and then we can continue chatting about the other things we have to talk today. Okay, so just give me 1 second, bear with me.
Foundry's Nuke is the industry standard tool for compositing in the film and TV industry. We've produced and curated all the essential resources for learning Nuke and preparing you for the profession, as well as recommendations for other training resources. You'll learn compositing fundamentals, rotoscoping, keying, tracking objects, color management, 3D compositing, and much more. Our objective is to empower artists with all the knowledge they need to push their skills to the next level. Jump in and start learning today.
And again, can't thank enough Foundry for supporting the channel so much. It's been really great to have them here. Okay, so also I've been posting the links on the chat as always. We're going to do it at the end of the stream. Remember, we do have the giveaway, which will be done later at the end of the stream. Oh, apologies, that's not what I wanted. Wanted this. And so that's the giveaway for my Nuke course. Which, don't forget, if you are a student already, and by the way, hi Mikhail, I can see you're saying things on both chats. Thanks so much for doing that. That's great. So, so as you can see on the course, you have the QR code there. You also have the link there. I've also posted the link on the chat already. It's on the top of the chat, the Foundry one as well. So it's quite easy for you to find. I'll do it at the end of the stream. As I was saying, if you're already a student, don't worry. I will give you my workshops, which is my other course, and if you already have that one as well, you can always wait for me to give you the third course, which I'm going to release next year around March next time. So I'm just finishing the workshops first, and then once the workshops are all done, I will then focus my attention on the on-set supervision course, which is my third course. Okay, so that's that giveaway. Then, of course, we also have the giveaway of the Foundry. This is, oh, sorry, I don't want to be in front of the QR code. So the Foundry is giving away, as always, they're so kind of giving away a Nuke Indie license. This is worth £500. And so be sure to check on the link above. It's on the chat, on both chats. You can find it on both Twitch and on YouTube as well. And there's a QR code there on the screen as well, and that's the link to go. And we'll be giving it at the end of the stream as well. We'll do now probably 45 minutes of compositing, then we'll do a break, and then we'll do another half an hour maybe, and then we will, after that, we will basically do the giveaways. Okay, so a little bit more housekeeping as well that I wanted to just let everyone know before we jump into the compositing thing. First of all, next week we will have the last showreel review of the year. This is going to be the last showreel review of sorry, I need to put myself here. The last showreel review of 2024. Season 2 will be next year, and we have a lot of surprises for everyone installed. But the last show review is the 14th of November. We have 3 people booked on that day. And keep an eye on social media, because sometimes people cancel last minute and then if that happens, I will ask the community if anyone wants to jump in. I realize that a lot of people are waiting for their time. I have basically dozens of showreels in backlog. I think I have like over 50 showreels now in backlog. So I'm trying my best, but I only do the streams twice a month. We only do 2-3 per stream. We can only really do 6 showreel reviews per month. So, I'm trying to solve that next year. That's my plan. I'm trying to work with the BenQ and see if I can get a more streamlined service. And also, I really want to have guests. I want to bring in Victor Perez to review some showreels as well. And I want to bring in some guests here for the UK and bring them over into the office and do that. So I'm trying my best, but it is a little bit difficult sometimes. Other things that I want to just mention: if you are on the Visual Effects Society, you can join us on an event. It will be a physical event here in London, but also an online event for the Visual Effects Society people. And so I'm going to put the link on the chat, on both chats. So this is basically a really cool event we're doing, where we are having, might as well just click on the link there and just give you more information directly from the source. And so this event, sorry, just waiting for it to open, will be an event with several guests. We have Ryan Jefferson from Territory Studios speaking. We also have Ellen Carr from 100 Star Games. We will also have Haley Brandt from Lucid Games. I will also be talking as an independent visual effects supervisor and director of cinematics. And we'll also have Stephen Archibald, which is an artist from Coconut Lizard. And we also have Johannes Richard, an art director from Guerrilla Amsterdam. This is going to be moderated by St. John Walker, and this is basically for the visual effects members. So you can either watch live if you go to Territory Studio on that day. This will be on the 27th of November. Or you can watch online. If you're a Visual Effects Society member, you can just log in to the Zoom link and then watch it live. This is going to be a really interesting event because we're going to talk about our experiences of moving from visual effects to games and back again. So just to discuss the many, many things and many skill sets that can be, brought in and out of games and visual effects. There's a lot of commonality. There's a lot of softwares that are the same. A lot of pipelines that are the same. A lot of work can be shared between these two worlds. And this event is really to showcase our experiences of doing that. As you guys know, when I left the mill, I became a full-time cinematics director for Fire Door Smoke. And so it's just basically for us to talk about the transition and the opportunities as well, because a lot of people might not know that in the visual effects community, a lot of the work we do in 3D and animation, in staging and Unreal, on all these things, can still also be used in gaming as well. So there's a lot of, skill sets that can be transferred over. So just wanted to for everyone to know that as well, if you want to check it out. And yeah. Now, another thing as well is that time is ticking, time is flying, you know. We have time is really flying. The World VFX Day is upon us. It's only a month from now, less than a month from now. So don't forget, on YouTube here on my channel, Hugo's Desk, from 7 o'clock in the morning UK time. The link is not out yet, but it will be. So this will be 7 o'clock in the morning UK time, starting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Japan, because we're going to be in Japan. And so it will be, again, about 10 hours of streams. We have talks, we have tutorials, we have interviews, we have prizes, we have giveaways, we have a lot of things. We have live events, we have special guests, we have guests from the visual effects industry, we have guests from the games industry. It's going to be even bigger than last year. And in fact, this year we're going to have it on the 6th, we're going to have it also on the 8th, and a little bit on the 9th as well. But the main event is on the 6th of December here on Hugo's Desk. We're going to start on Hugo's Desk, and then we're going to jump over to the World VFX Day YouTube channel. So get ready for that. It's going to be a massive day. Just like last year, it's going to be probably around 11 hours or something like that. So yeah, so that's really it. Those are the events that are coming up and coming. You know. Coach destination, yeah. And last but not least, I just wanted to give a big shout out to my friend Ian Fales. I just wanted to he hasn't paid me to do this, okay? But I just wanted to let everyone know that the last issue of Before and Afters is absolutely amazing. This is all about Alien, all about Alien Romulus. The whole magazine is just about Alien Romulus. The whole thing of how they made it, how they did the props, how they did the CG. This is a mind-blowing essay, and I just love it. And it's the closest thing we're ever going to get to a CinFX to be back. So be sure to check that out. I think Ian Fales is doing an amazing job with Before and Afters, and I can't recommend it enough. You know, talking of books as well, remember to support your local content creators, and also to support your local artists as well. And that means that if you want to support this channel, don't forget that you can become a subscriber on Twitch, and that can be done with your Amazon Prime subscription, which means that it's free for you. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to my channel on Twitch, and then I get paid from Amazon, but you don't pay anything extra. It's the same. It's free for you. So keep that in mind. If you do want to support the channel, that is a way of you supporting it for free. I don't run any ads on these streams. I've disconnected and disabled ads on these streams because they were so damn annoying. So the only way to support the channel is either becoming a subscriber. And even if you hate to watch it on Twitch, you can just become a subscriber on Twitch and just watch it on YouTube as well. You can also become a member on YouTube as well if you want to. And you can also become a Patreon of my channel as well on patreon.com. And of course, if you really want to support small creators, you can also help my wife with her book. She has a vegetarian vegan recipe book called Green Recipes for All. It's available on hardcover. It's available on softcover as well. It's also available on Kindle. I don't have a Kindle here, but keep in mind that it's available on every Amazon store. So you can basically just go to any Amazon and you can order it there. It's available on Amazon UK, Amazon France, Amazon Japan, Amazon India, Amazon US, you know. And yeah, that's it really. That's the only thing I wanted to I hope you don't mind. I'm just trying to give you the latest news of everything that is happening with my channel and all the events. And of course, if you want to support the channel, that's where to go as well. So, and I can't emphasize enough, this book is an amazing book for a Christmas gift. So if you want to do that, and you can give it away, and you don't need to be vegan or vegetarian. You can just enjoy good food, and you'll enjoy the book very much. Of course, I'm biased because it's my wife, but I can tell you that the book is really good. We spent a long time making this book and taking a lot of photos, and it was a project for almost a year and a half. So, okay, I can see also that oh, thank you so much. I just got a new subscriber with Prime. So, what's his name? Sorry, it's too small, the text. I should really make this text a bit bigger. Hi Hugo, I hope you are doing well. And this is Lion would it be like that? I'm not entirely sure. I'm Portuguese, so I'm always terrible at pronouncing, but I do think it would be Lion. It would be like that, I think. I hope so. Oh, it's Fabian. Okay. Well, thank you so much for... Yeah, I do remember you, of course, Fabian. Thank you so much for subscribing on Prime. It's really, really means a lot to me for you to subscribe and to support the channel like that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm going to shut up about all of this now. You know, no more flogging about anything whatsoever. If you want to support her, you know how to support me. You have all the links there. So let's just jump into the compositing bit of this stream. And don't forget, if you're watching this at a later date, there are chapters you can jump around and all this stuff and just watch just the compositing. And I have a playlist with all these streams as well, with all of the chat. Like, the whole thing is there. So I'm just going to like mention that. I just put up a new camera. I have the urge to show you this. Look at that. This is my new angle now from that side, which for a while I haven't had it there. So now I just wanted to show my office because I'm about to release a new video about my office, chapter 2, from the tour of the office. And now I have a couple of new things that I want to show in that video because I have some new screens up there, and I have also like this screen up here as well, and another camera there for the gaming side as well. So, and of course my CRT over there, which is for the retro gaming as well. So I have a lot to talk about that. And in fact, after the stream, I'm going to continue to stream this game, A Quiet Place, here on YouTube and on Twitch. You should really check it out. I'm really blown away by how this game is so innovative. It's really funny because the microphone on the PlayStation is capturing the sound of the room, and if I make a noise, then I die. This is A Quiet Place, which is based on the film Quiet Place, and I just find it amazing that they've made that as a thing on the game. And it's been really fun to do that with the audience because they're trying to make me laugh. And then I laugh and then I die. That happened to me last week, where there was noises in the room and I started laughing or breathing and then I kind of just died. It was so cool. In fact, it was like fireworks outside, and then one of the fireworks got off and then I died because of that. So it's really funny to play that game. So we're going to be playing that game later today, probably at like 7 or something on YouTube. Just come back here and I'll post it on YouTube as well, on social media. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up now and just bring in Bjorn as well, and also basically open up the script. Today we're gonna be talking about the main script. So before we continue, we're gonna... Yeah, I know, Fabian. I now have 3 cameras on my office, which is a bit ridiculous, I know. But it's necessary because I have the main one to show the whole thing, then I have the one you guys are seeing now, and then I have the one on the top there, which is not on right now, which is that one there, which is a C100, and that's the one I use when I'm playing games, because it's like to my face, because I usually play games on this BenQ monitor here. So I know it sounds really ridiculous, but it is all necessary. I hope I convey that message when I'm like talking about it on my videos, on my tour videos. Okay, I'm gonna bring in Bjorn here, and I know he's been waiting for a while, so apologies for that, Bjorn. Let's just start this thing and see what happens. Okay, can't start. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need video. We're not doing video on this thing. So, hey Simon, hey AM, a lot of people saying hello here. Thanks everyone for being here. Can't thank you guys enough. Okay, so I'm gonna bring in Bjorn here. Hey man, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey. Oh, I love that shirt. That's cool. That's a cool shirt, man. Okay, yeah. So let me just do this here because I need to go here and then I need to do this. I think that should work. No, that's not it. That's wrong. Just give me a second.
That's
here.
The opposite of it.
I know. I just need to like go. Where's the controller? I need to like go And I need to go in here and where is it? No, it's not here. Yeah, no, it's here. Sorry, it's this. The ATM Mini is so complicated sometimes, and I just never really understood why they make it so complicated. Okay, here we go. So now I can have it like that. That's wrong. Yeah, that's right. There you go. So now they can see you and they can see me. So that's a lovely shirt, my Roy.
Hello, everyone.
So apologies for that. I didn't mean for the Foundry logo to just show it there. That's the output of DaVinci, and that was the last thing I played. So it wasn't in purpose. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how you doing, my friend? How you going?
I'm good.
Yeah?
How are you? Like,
I'm
with
good.
all your cameras and everything.
I know.
Your control center.
I know. It's becoming a bit silly. It's growing upwards now. It's kind of going up. Because I stopped.
You're like the guys that have like these big monster trucks drive around, but you have your like control center.
I know.
instead.
I know. And I do these videos like these tour videos trying to explain and trying to tell people why I actually need it, but it's all fake. It's just because I like it. That's it, I guess. I don't need it at all. Exactly. I keep getting like comments on social media always like, why do you need so many monitors? And I'm always looking at it like, well, I use all of them. I'm sorry. Like I use all of them. When I'm looking here, I can see me. And when I'm looking here, I can see me. It's just like a TV show, like where you have like multiple cameras. So Bjorn, this is now the third time you've joined the stream. I am so sorry for that. So
I'm happy to be here.
hopefully it will be.
I'm sorry that the rest of you have to bear me as well. No,
no, people love you. Like look, people already like on the chat there. So yeah, Gabriel on Twitch is asking if Goonies is gonna have a sequel or not. I don't know. How can we know that?
Like, if it were up to me, I don't know. I'm like split on sequels. Like they are like I like sequels better when they are like actually a sequel. They happen later or like a prequel type of thing. But when they remake the film, not usually it doesn't. For me, at least, doesn't go as well.
Yeah, it's the same with me as well. I think sometimes things don't need to be brought back. You just should do new things, you know? They do the same with games all the time as well. They're just like remaking them all the time, and I'm really not sure why.
Same IP, just like wrap it up type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine like the Spider-Mans, if they would, like, they've basically like made the similar stories every time, but like when they made with a new Spider-Man and a new Spider-Man, if they would make the same one every time just with a new person, like it wouldn't be as good.
No. Absolutely. Okay, well, so I guess we're gonna, for everyone to know, like if you guys haven't seen the last streams that we've done, we've been deconstructing the Zeiss project that we did together. We have all of it on YouTube. You can rewatch it. It's all on a playlist. I know a lot of you have been watching it because I can see the views going up. And so today, this will be the last time, most likely, that we'll open the script. And maybe if we have leftovers, then we have something for 2 weeks from now. So there will be 2 more streams about this shot. And the next year, season 2 of this construction series, I'll start a new project, like something else. I'm not sure exactly which one I'm going to do. I've been thinking maybe the Vermintide one or maybe the Adobe one. I don't know. I'm still kind of, maybe the Sniper Elite, maybe that one. I don't know. I'm still kind of pondering which one I'm going to tackle next year. So,
if I may suggest.
Of course, yes, go for it.
To just throw it out there and put you on the spot. Like, why not just have a short introduction on each one and then let people who are watching vote on it?
Yeah, I guess that's a good
just
idea.
Just make one stream at next year.
Yeah.
Just like
that's a great...
It could just be the video and you could just talk about it, and then like it wouldn't have to be like wouldn't have to make a lot of prep for it. But like could be fun to see what everyone else wants to.
It's a good idea, but it also scares me because we all know that voting goes really well most of the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, like just
we just saw how that went.
Yeah, don't let people in like Just the east and west coast of America making wood. Like,
What I could do is I could just rig the vote, I could just I get the voting, and then whatever the outcome is, I just pick whatever I want, and then I tell everyone that was the vote. It is so easy to rig it. So you guys heard it first. We're gonna rig it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, democracy.
Yes, exactly. No, but that's a good idea, actually. That's a really good idea. Unfortunately, I'm sure why. YouTube doesn't have that. They don't have a vote thing. Twitch has. Twitch, you can put a vote up to the viewers. But what I will probably do, I'll just do it on Twitter. It's probably just easier to have the vote on Twitter, and then people can vote there. But yeah, that's a great idea. So I'll do that. When I come back from January after the World VFX Day and after coming back from Japan, I'll do that. Okay, so let's open the script. I'm going to just share my screen with you so that you can see it as well.
Thank you.
Let's see here. So we have 45 minutes on this free Zoom thing as well. So let's not forget that as well. But if it shuts down, that's actually for the best, because I want to do a break anyway. So we should be responsible and always do a break. And so I'm going to just... people are not seeing you yet, but they will very soon. So there we go.
That's fine.
Yeah, so now we have both of us in the side here. So you're on one side and I'm on the other side. Okay, cool. So I guess, yeah, people say, hi. So where's my weekend? Okay, okay, so make Blender great again. Oh my God, Blender. Yes, Blender is dead. That's right, guys. Blender is dead.
Why?
Well,
Why
it's been discontinued.
Huh?
The founder is not going to continue with it. Just announced yesterday that Blender is no more. So the funny thing is that, yeah. Oh, sorry, Blender.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I mean Modo. I'm so sorry. I meant Modo. I'm so sorry. No, sorry.
I was confused. Like,
never
what?
Mind.
They bought that?
I'm just having a brain aneurysm. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No. Because I read Blender and for some reason my mind went to Modo. I don't know. Like Modo is dead. That's what I meant. I'm so sorry for that.
That's too bad.
It is. It is a bit sad. And also, it was a really awkward email. I saw the email. And it said that if you want, you can continue having a license for 10 years, but we're just not supporting it. So, which was even more awkward. It was like, okay, so we keep paying for 10 years? Is that what you mean, but you don't support it? I'm not sure if that's the case, or if you can get a free license for 10 years. I need to read
I'll take a free license and just keep my computer as is.
Yes.
I don't use it that much. But
people saying open source it. That's not gonna happen, guys. I'm sorry. That's definitely not gonna happen.
They're not gonna share their code.
No. Someone was on Twitter today and it's like, why don't you just release the code and just share it with the world? It's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. They're probably gonna use the code for something else. But anyway, let's just continue with this. Didn't mean to deviate from there. So this is the main script. So last few streams, we've been looking at how we've built it, and Bjorn has been helping me to decipher the roto and painting and cleanup scripts, which are now all gathered here. Now, just wanted to let everyone know that this wasn't really how it started. So the first time, this is version 50, and so you can kind of see it from here. This is our own system. We have like a bespoke system for opening scripts. And if you look here, of course, at the beginning, you can kind of see the users here. Like Bjorn really started this shot for a long, long time. So Bjorn actually did this shot all the way up to version 24, and then I took over on version 25. And this is, I just wanted to mention this at the beginning because, well, first of all, to credit you as well on the script, not just me. But also the second thing is that this is a very common practice in production. Like a lot of times, there are moments in companies where sometimes you might have someone working on a shot and then someone else finishing it, or someone else taking over, or someone else. And this usually happens on two types of dynamics. Either you have a junior and a senior, and so the junior preps the shot and then the senior takes over, or you might have like an artist that is working on it and it's been pulled over to another project, and then so someone else has to pick it up. Or sometimes, which is the case of us, it was a collaboration. Bjorn started it, he kind of put everything together, and then I finished it, while also Bjorn was doing other shots as well on this project. And so we did the whole thing together, really. And so I just wanted to let everyone know that. So, and and that's always how we work, me and Bjorn. So of how we work on these shots, because also Bjorn knows how I like to comp, and now how I do my scripts on CG, and so we already kind of have these templates that kind of Bjorn era started in version 24. I like that. With that in mind, I'm gonna open your version in 24. Let's Well, let's just see how. I just wanted to show people really quickly. I'm gonna have both of them open, but I just want to show people really quickly the main differences. There wouldn't be much differences, but the bulk of the main script would be there. And you guys just have to take it a minute because it takes a bit of time. All this power, all these GPUs, all these CPUs, in all this ridiculous amount of RAM, and it still takes like 30 seconds to open a shot in Nuke. Like, it's exponential. It keeps becoming slower as the computers go bigger, I guess. Okay, so this is open now. So yeah, so this is the version 24, which is the version I picked up. Why is it not linked though? Just a second. Oh yeah, it was reading a node that wasn't linked. So just want to let you know, because this was the last thing that Bjorn gave me when I took over, and you can already see there was a full sky. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like at this stage we only had like background.
Yes, exactly.
Because like I can't remember if it was like already there, but like
version 24.
Then you split it into the foreground, everything in front of it, and everything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really important, because I wanted to like tell people, let's see here, people how this kind of works. So 24, okay, I don't have 24, but I have version 20, because the thing with this is I won't be able to show you guys the render version of the last render, because we don't really have the old renders. We need to save space in Dropbox, and so we delete the older versions. So I don't have version 55, which was the last version that wasn't there, but I do have a render, a preview. And so this was the kind of like, it's not version 24, but it's almost. This was like the whatever you got to until before I started picking it up. And so this, as you can see, yeah, it's missing motion blur, it's missing some depth of field, it's missing quite a few things, but the bulk of the shot is here. Like, it's kind of here, you know, like pretty much. So
yeah, like I usually don't like, especially when because I was probably still focusing either on key or roto or some cleanup or something.
Yeah.
And then I just ignore the motion blur and the depth for that. Like, either switch it off or just like haven't set it up.
Well, because it's really heavy.
I'm not sure like, because I just need to see
how it looks. Yeah.
And like everything that he touches and does. Like, so
exactly.
The rest, basically, if it's like blurry or not, doesn't really matter for that purpose.
Absolutely, yeah. And as you all can see here, we still have the main floor. And so at this stage, you guys saw in the last script, well, 2 streams ago, and also in the last stream, 2 streams ago, we talked about the cleanup, where at some point we gave up on having the floor and we actually rotoed the whole thing and started merging his feet directly into the CG floor. But at this time, we were still considering having this floor, but it was quite difficult for Martin, the CG artist, Martin Mayer, to kind of make something that would merge into this environment seamlessly. And also, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for it to look like this in the CG. And so it's kind of how that kind of went, you know.
And then one of the things that we contemplated was like, because we like to grade actually the floor, the real floor, to match the CG floor, like, so it like just fits better in.
Yeah,
because this color is not the same as like the CG floor. It's more like the pillars on the side there.
Yeah.
Like in terms of color, and like we would still need the full roto, and then like the issue with the shadow was also like have the shadow separate, the feet and everything separate, and then color correct that just for the. So it was easier to, since we were just like rotoing him, than having a mix of both.
Yeah, absolutely, and
just having this.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, okay, so, and this also, of course, has like a quite old transition as well that we did here, which was not finished at all. So this was the state of the shot, and the result of that, of course, as you can kind of see here, is that there was already like a full sky setup here. And this was the old sky. I remember, I think we talked about this on the first stream I did about this shot. This was a stream where Bjorn wasn't part of it, but where I explained that we used to have this sky, and then we kind of swapped it to the real sky that we shot on set, that Bjorn did when he was supervising this. But then at some point I actually replaced it by another sky. So there was like 3 skies involved in this project. We used to have the clouds, and then we kind of left the clouds, and then we kind of went away again to some different clouds. I think by the time we get to here, we have a pretty simple sky setup, because we kind of thought that the other sky was a little bit too much. You see, this is the second sky, and it was just a bit too distracting, and I kind of felt that it wasn't really going to work for this shot, so that's why we
it was also that, because we had such a hard shadow of him. It was just like a clear day when we shot it. Yeah. So at least the sun was there, it was nothing covering. So it also matched better with everything that we were had in the scene.
Yeah, and this you can actually see here. So this is the one that you just saw on that preview on version 24. That's the HDR. And then at some point there was I kind of had this one at some point. And then also at some point I had this. Well, actually no, sorry. At some point I had this one. This was the real one that we actually shot, that Bjorn did. This was the HDR he did on set. And so we also contemplated having this one at some point as well. But I ended up having this one. It became a much more simple and clear sky with some mountains on the back there. And it really built a better image for the shot, because it kind of gave you scale. And so at some point, this one here, which is, you can kind of see if you go here, you kind of see a little bit of clouds there, and then you kind of see some mountains in the back there, which really give it scale. And that's those mountains. It's these mountains here, and these little, basically it's this area here that you're watching, kind of like this area here, which was like the most interesting area anyway. So which was like kind of like this part here, and that's the section. And of course, because this is a 12K, well, actually this one is 8K, because it's an 8K matte painting, we kind of could get away with it, and also it was the focus. So it's not like we need to have it in 8K, although this project was done in 6K, but 8K was more than enough, mainly because of the motion blur and the depth of field that we had there. So okay, so going back to your script, and the other thing as well that this is very common on the way we work, and of course the way people see my scripts when they see these streams, and they see there is a main way that we usually work. We basically always render everything EXR by EXR, like inside a basically like a multipass EXR. And if that's not the case, then we bring them in and build our multipass EXR. So that's the case here for the IDs, of course. These are switched off, but this is a very common practice where we build, or so if we had like 5 or 6 AOVs, they would come into the stream. And it's I really prefer to have it on the stream, because then you can have access to all of them at any time. I do like that, so it's just a much better way. And at this stage, Bjorn, you were just leaving this kind of like for me to pick up. You didn't really do any changes. You didn't put any color correctors. So these are the places where the color corrections will be eventually. So you basically just have, this is of course a fix that we sometimes have if we have mismanaged CG material that needs to be minused,
It helps also, like when you get something and like trying to locate what you're missing, and you can relay that to your CG artist and tell him like this part, like I'm getting this, and then you can also from that and from like also experience dealing with these passes, like just when you see it, it's this part that I need.
Exactly, absolutely. Mikhail is actually saying something that I've talked about this. He's saying it on YouTube. Just notice that the shadow is a bit mismatched in the CG. Sun is shot is more inclined than the CG 20-degree difference. So you're probably talking about the this here. So this is very much true, yes, because if you look closely here, the set, the one I used and the set that I use is not exactly in the same place. But the thing with this is that I had it lined up at some point, but I just didn't like the way the clouds look like. And so at that sense, Mikhail, I just made a decision to make it look nicer than to actually be completely physically correct. And that's a common practice when we do these kind of shots. You know, it's not like, as long as it looks good, it doesn't really matter if you deviate a little bit, and it's not that much. It's only like a little bit that the sun is off. It's not completely like the opposite side or something like that. So I don't think it's a big deal, but I am aware because I did that change. So I am aware of that, Mikhail. But that's a common practice. Okay, so this is the build-up, and of course this is what Bjorn built for me to pick up. And then as you can see here on the main script, if I go down here, this is kind of what ended up happening. So as you can see, we have multiple grade nodes and glow nodes, and all these nodes were then the treatment of the UV one by one, but the structure is kind of the same. And if you look at one and the other, you see this is the original version 24 and this is the original version 50, and so basically the same. Is just the extra color correctors and everything, and especially the fog and atmospheres down here as well, that
and
really build the shot.
In each backdrop, I usually keep both, just the regular, for example, the reflection or like diffusion, and I have the raw, like the
I need to go to the main script because I don't have link there, but I have link here. So if we go here, we have basically the diffuse dome, we also have the diffuse sun, and then we have still also the main diffuse, and then the diffuse raw. So we have still access to everything here.
Filter. So like I have it all in the same place. So like, at least for me, like if I would have continued with all of the CG, I would have just used the regular diffuse and start from there, and then swap it out for something else when I needed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because depending on what, not unless I planned on, like I really need to like get in this like small detail or like big detail there.
Yeah, exactly. And we didn't go that far, that deep, but I ended up using the raw reflection just because I wanted to change the reflection itself. And I kind of wanted to pop just the reflection. That's why I used the raw, but I still have access to all of the other ones. And this is something that I keep saying on streams, that it really the amount of VOVs that you're dealing with and the amount of technicality that you go into the reconstruction of these VOVs really largely depend on your deadline. You know, like if you have a day, fuck it, we're just gonna do the beauty and maybe one pass, and just call it correctly
and use some like masks and like whatever you get.
Exactly. But if you have a week, then yes, maybe we're gonna go and do all the UVs like I did here. If you have a month, then everything raw, every single thing is gonna be outputted. So the amount of UVs and also the amount of the complexity of this script really depends on how long we had. We had several months on this project, and so of course, we didn't have several months on the shot itself, but we had several months on the entire project. So we had time. I believe it was, well, we can actually see. Actually, this is good information that I can share with people. How long was this script open? Doesn't mean that it was every day being used, but at least how long was it open and for how long. So we shot 160. So if we go to comp, we can see here through the dates. Okay, so the first version was the 28th of July. And then
just after filming, like the weekend after filming.
Yeah, basically. And then we basically worked. You worked 28, 30, 31, 1st of August, and then there was like a bit of a break here from the 4th and the 10th, so there's nothing happening for like 6 days here. And then it kind of opened again on the 10th, 11, then it kind of didn't stop. There's a bit of break here between 11 and in 15, and then it's every day there's something happening on the shot. And then there's like a bit of a break between the 21st of August and the 3rd of September, so there's like a week or so of break here. and then it kind of continues. Damn, I actually worked on this shot on my birthday. I didn't notice that. I was actually working on this, and then we keep going.
No, this is version 20, because I did all the way up to version 24.
You were working. Yeah, that's right. You were working. Yeah, so I was
I
was
am
partying.
forgiving to work on your birthday.
I was partying and you were working. And then it kind of like goes back again. And at the time that you gave me the thing, it was around 7, 8, and then I picked it up there, 7, 8, 9, and then it continues 10, and it goes all the way to 25th.
Yeah, because like it also
there's a
bit.
This here is of course wrong, because this is me opening for streaming. So 25th of November, that's when. So it's 26th of September. That's when we finally finished.
What was 48 version 48?
Well, but no, because the thing with this is that there at some point I also did breakdowns, and so I don't believe it was this date. But we actually know the delivery date. If we go into the day, we have everything very organized, everyone, just so everyone knows. So if I go to outgoing to client here. Yeah, so we delivered it on the 27th of September. That was the final delivery. That's when I gave them all of the shots. And the master file was the 28th of September at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So that was when we sent them the film. It took them some weeks until the film was actually public. But this was the last ProRes I made, the 28th of September. So all in all, this project was open then from... I closed it now. So the project was open from Sorry, I shouldn't have closed it. So as I was saying,
end of July to the end of September, so 2 months.
Yeah, so for 2 months, give or take, and of course with some breaks in between, we worked on this shot.
Working on the other shots that
exactly. That's the other thing as well. Like, of course, when me and Bjorn are working on these shots, we work a couple of hours and then we open other shots as well. So it's not like you're working 9 hours a day on one shot. So I hope not, at least. So
I like when I get shots like that, when you can just focus on.
And we have time. And I must really give the credit to Zeiss. They were amazing on this process, because they were really a good client. They didn't really like interfere too much. They really believed and trusted us, and we kind of like had a lot of time to do the shots as we wanted them to be happening. There was a couple of things that we had to like tweak performances of other shots and things like that, but this shot was never an issue. Which was the most complicated one. So.
Which was the weirdest thing. We always expected this one, like, because you kind of get feedback, and there's like, could you move this pillar over here, or like whatever they want, but like this one they were always happy with.
In fact, the most complicated shot of this project, which people are going to be surprised by hearing, I think I've said this on the first stream, but I'll just repeat it. Most complicated shot of this project is actually, I'm just going to take away the sound here.
Isn't it?
It's this one. So this is the most complicated shot of the project, because this one, when he puts this entire sequence, by the way, because this entire sequence of him, he used to say something else, and so I had to comp his hand coming in earlier to cut what he was saying, and then we kind of like remove the sentence there. That took a while. And then this section here, there's a different performance. This was shot on camera, of course, but...
Yeah, this is split screen.
Yeah, we had to split it because they were very picky about the performance of the first AD compared to the performance of Frederick, and syncing the way you would talk to the first AD. First AC. And for the longest time, we had a lot of complicated problems with this, because when this came in, this shot to put in the lens, it was a lot longer, then it was shorter, and the main problem that Zeiss had as a client was that they wanted, I kid you not, we spent weeks on this, they wanted this thumb up to be actually in a certain synchronization time of him looking at it. And I remember sending this time and sending versions and versions of this and never getting it quite right. Like, no, it's a bit too early. No, it's a bit too late. No, it's a bit too early. It was a lot of versions for this. And I was quite surprised that this was the most difficult shot of this project.
But like, you can't be thankful. It's like, it's easier like things to adjust sometimes than like this whole CG shot that you could change everything.
I know.
Like
I know.
here it's just mainly they were focusing on timing and all that, but like
I mean,
what he was saying.
Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm sure Zeiss is watching. They sometimes watch these streams, and I'm sure Marius won't be mad for me to say or upset to me to say it. I don't think this is a problem at all. I was just finding it funny. I find it funny that this was the most complicated shot of the project. It wasn't hard to get it to work. You know, it was like a couple of we did some versions, and it took a few weeks, but then it got done. But
I rotoscoped the camera and the AC.
Because the lighting was changing.
Because there was like a lighting change in the background, and we had to basically use do a clean plate for where the AC is in Frederick's part of the shot. So I did a clean plate of that, and then I wrote out the AC going over.
Like I said before, I think they were a fantastic client. Marius was amazing. I really have nothing to say. I think they were amazing on dealing with us and giving us feedback in a very timely fashion. I was just mentioning this was funny. I'm not this was a dream project really in terms of the deadline and the timing and everything involved. I really think I haven't really had such a smooth project in a long time. And I wish every project that I've ever done would have been this smooth. So no, we didn't get to that, Mikael. We didn't use we didn't have Leica lenses. No, it was all Zeiss lenses everywhere. Because it's a Zeiss commercial.
They have just released for the CinCraft a manual setup.
Yeah, they did. Well,
it was, but now it's from what I understand, a easier manual setup because you could manually set it up, but now it's easier process.
They just released, and by the way, this call is probably going to finish abruptly. We have 7 minutes left, but it doesn't matter. We'll do a break and then we'll continue. After that, we'll do a break anyway. CinCraft. I always write Cin. It's not with an E. It's Cin. I believe that they just released version 2.0.
CinCraft.
Yeah, CinCraft.
I even say CinCraft every time. Good thing I'm not the spokesperson for them.
Yeah, that's the one. So this is the new version, which is 2.0 that just came out, where you basically can have pre-calibrated lenses template. You can have templates, so you basically can make templates, and then besides calibrating your own lenses, you can also import templates and share templates and things like that. So it's I think it was a couple of days ago that they've released this update. I believe so. Anyway, let's keep going here until we have 6 more minutes until we stop, and then we'll do the break. So basically, the reason I was opening this script was just to show everyone, and of course I'll go into the other script in detail. But as you can see here, this is the script we did last week, 2 weeks ago, which is the compositing script. So basically, the rotoscoping script. This was the rotoscoping script that we had at the time, and this then of course left this script. I didn't need to have this here because it was just too heavy with all the denoising and all the keying and all the primats and all the IBKs. This became too slow to have on the script. And that's pretty much it, really. It's really just a simple build of the CG here. The actual original rotoscoping script, which kept evolving on the other version, and as you can see here on the final script, we don't even have the roto section here. It's kind of gone by this time because we've deleted it.
He's on the pink backdrop there, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna close this one because we don't need it anymore. But I'm gonna now focus my attention to this one. And yes, you are right. At some point, regarding the CG, and that's why we have twice here. We have one setup and we have two setups. This was because at some point we considered doing this project with Deep, and we actually rendered on Deep. But then it became it just became a bit of a hassle to have this with Deep. It was too heavy. It was too complicated to try to find the actual physical depth location of Frederick walking. And so we didn't have time to build an entire representation in CG of Frederick walking, because this would have to be automated, and we would have to have like a person in CG to know the position of him so that it would be rendered in the correct place. So we made the decision of just, fuck it, we'll just do it old school. We'll render a foreground and a background. And a lot of times it becomes so much more easy. So we have the full background here, and then at some point here we have the foreground. And the foreground is literally very old school, just the stuff that is in front of Frederick. That's it. So we basically just ask Martin to just render anything that passes in front of him as a separate layer, sorry. And I know this is an old school methodology, but it still works. It's still a very good way of doing these kind of things. But goes without saying, if you have a way of having an actual CG representation and a department on your company that can do a full 3D match of an actor, then of course you could do the depth, you can do the deep render, and then you can just comp him in directly. You don't need to have front layer, back layer. You don't have to have any of that. I just find that it's a bit easier to control when you have a simple shot like this, and we didn't have any repeated shots, and that's why we split it.
And also, like, especially if you would have like which we didn't have, a super narrow depth of field, and like having it split, especially the stuff that goes in front of him, is just easier to fix bugs or something that happens with the depth in front of him.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
You could also fix that with some like masking and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like crypto mats and
yeah, exactly. Mikhail is saying here they need to release the pre-made distortion ST maps for lenses as well. I'm not. Well, I guess the template system could work for that, but maybe it will be. Maybe there will be files around from people. But you can see here Nub saying also leave it up to the camera hardware company to focus in giving editors what they need. One of the last parts of the VFX industry that learns into quality and usability is not Okay, so Nub, you mentioned, I noticed that at some point he says, I'm here in earnest. So are you who I think you are then? Because I didn't know. Do you work at Zeiss? Is that the case? Like, do you actually, are you some, because I don't know who you are, of course, with that name. But I'm not entirely sure. Maybe you are who I think you are. Maybe you can just give me a hint on the chat, and then I'll know if that's the case. Anyway, while I wait for that, because of course there's like a lot of lag on the chat.
But I must say, I can't remember what's the name of the software where we could do the distortion, or like the ST mapper.
It's called it's called the mapper. Yeah, the mapper.
Like I like that. I like it. Like it's easy to use, nice. Like I hope they could.
Yeah, it's here. It's this one here.
Like of course it's not up to them, but like if other lens manufacturer would basically allow them to share their lenses as well, because this will just like really help us. Like especially when grids aren't filmed or something, you can like, okay, I can get at least a version of this lens.
Yeah, of course.
But their lenses are quite similar to like when you grid them. That's why they made this templates or like software.
Yeah.
The lenses are quite accurate between them. There aren't the same discrepancies as in like I don't know, Cook lenses or whatever.
Exactly.
Depending on the Cook lens and depending on, because like sometimes cinematographers want to use these vintage lenses that are crazy.
I know, advocates.
Just distortion or like chromatic aberration and all that.
Well, hold your thought because I think you're going to be disconnected.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll talk in a sec. No,
See you in a
just
few seconds.
Hold your thought that we're going to... Well, no, we're going to do a break. We'll do a break.
Okay.
10-minute break, and then we'll come back. So we'll do a break. Yeah, so that actually is a good timing because we've been on for an hour, and so we're gonna continue. Oh, I see, Nub. I'm sorry. I know because you've been on these streams for a long time, and you actually did a review. So I was just wondering if you were someone else. I just was for a moment there. I was confused, and I thought you were someone that I know that works at Zeiss. My streams start at 7 a.m. Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe that's something I need to address because on season 2, maybe maybe I need to do a voting. But at some point, I used to have my streams at 5, and then I switched them to 3, and maybe I need to go back to 5 o'clock because it might be a better timing for everyone else, But anyway, we'll be back. We're gonna do a break of 10 minutes, as always, so that we can stretch our legs. So don't forget to stretch your legs, to get some water, to rest your eyes for a moment, and then we'll get back to the deconstruction of the shot, and we'll be back in exactly 10 minutes. So I'm going to put a timer, so don't go anywhere, and I'll see you all very soon. During the break, as usual, we are going to have the Zeiss commercial playing. We're also going to have the Foundry commercial playing as well, and we'll also have the book Green Recipes for All as well, playing the trailer as well. So you can stick around if you want to watch all those commercials. If not, you can just put your timer for exactly 10 minutes, and we'll be back in exactly 10 minutes. So that's pretty much it. So I'll see you all very soon. Don't go anywhere, and I'll see you all very soon.
Foundry's Nuke is the industry standard tool for compositing in the film and TV industry. We've produced and curated all the essential resources for learning Nuke and preparing you for the profession, as well as recommendations for other training resources. You'll learn compositing fundamentals, rotoscoping, keying, tracking objects, color management, 3D compositing, and much more. Our objective is to empower artists with all the knowledge they need to push their skills to the next level. Jump in and start learning today.
Hello everyone! I'm super excited to give you a glimpse of my first cookbook, Green Recipes for All, featuring over 50 dishes inspired by amazing Mediterranean food. Inside you can find recipes made with a variety of fresh, healthy and versatile ingredients and popular plant-based products. These are great choices whether you already follow a plant-based diet or simply wish to cook a few weekly meat-free meals to reduce your overall meat consumption. In the book, you'll find a wide range of new and exclusive recipes, from soups and big salads to main courses and desserts, as well as some of the most popular recipes here on my channel, such as the perfectly cooked non-stick rice or the tabbouleh-style bulgur and mixed bean salad. Not forgetting a new version of the delicious tofu chocolate mousse. So, if you'd like to have a look at my book and try some of the recipes, just visit any Amazon marketplace and order a copy, which is available in hardcover, paperback or digital formats. Hope you enjoyed the book, have fun cooking, and see you next time.
What a beautiful place. But guess what? It's not real. You know, these days, nearly every production has some form of visual effects, and most of them need camera tracking. This is CinCraft Scenario. Easy, real-time camera tracking, anywhere, anytime. This will speed up your visual effects pipeline. This means no more tracking markers in your backgrounds, and less work with your lens distortion. So you can be creative and experiment. This device and its software do the magic. You can track indoors, outdoors, on a LED volume, on a green screen, on a film set, or even in a parking lot. We got you covered. No matter how many objects move in front of the camera. And tracking outside? Yes, you've guessed it. Our system goes the extra mile. It tracks natural markers to compute the camera's movement for you. Wow. Oh, hello. But how does the system track in an empty environment? Come on, check this out. Do you see those reflective markers on the floor? They're used for tracking setups like green screens. And this little camera tracks the reflective markers anywhere you put them. And you can even perform live pre-comp on set. Any scenario is a breeze with our system, including this LED volume. By the way, we also support frame remapping technology. While they switch lenses, hear me out. With Zeiss lenses, there is no lens calibration needed. The system is plug and play. And another cool feature is oh, well, that was a bit too fast. The tracking data can be recorded and easily handed over to the VFX studio. So we are really speeding things up here, don't we? Wow, that's amazing. We also need to speed things up because we're running out of time. So now it's your turn. Let your imagination run free.
Are you interested in learning compositing? My Nuke course is currently 50% off. Join today to have access to 150 pre-recorded classes, 50 hours of training, using real production assets covering industry standard techniques with over 200 gigs of showreel material and access to a private Discord channel with over 2,300 students. This course is endorsed by Foundry and has access to a Foundry student license paid separately. Join today at hugosdesk.myshopify.com. Okay, I'm back. So thank you so much for still being here, and I can see a lot of discussion here about the timings for the streams. I'm just gonna just say out already to everyone that I can't get a timing that works for everyone. It doesn't work. So I've tried 3 o'clock, I've tried 4, I've tried 5, I tried 7, I tried midnight. I've tried a lot of different times over the years, and I still don't know which one is best. I have no idea. Hey Nikki, how you doing? Nikki is saying hello from Twitch. Thank you so much. I also need to thank Carlos SV Mota for becoming a subscriber on Prime. Thank you so much, Carlos, for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. And as always, even if you guys don't like Twitch, because I know a lot of you don't like it, you can always support the channel on Twitch and still watch it on YouTube because it is free to become a member on Prime. So thank you so much, Carlos, for becoming a member. It really means a lot to me. Now Amazon will pay me and you don't have to pay a dime. Thank you so much, my friend. Okay, so hey, Rek, how you doing? Let's continue this. Just wanted to do a quick reminder to everyone of the giveaways as well. We'll do them at the end of the stream. So reminding everyone that we have a giveaway of a Nuke course from Hugo's desk. I'll just put the link again on the chat. I'm sure everyone already knows, but just making sure everyone has the link and the QR code as well. Even if you're a student, I will give you the workshop, or I will give you my new course that will be out soon. Now, keep in mind as well that even if you don't win this giveaway, I am currently having a special code. So if you go and buy my course, with the word Halloween, which was last week, I know, but I will replace it with Black Friday at some point. But if you use the word Halloween, you will get 70% off. So if you do that, that is 70% off on any of my courses, and it includes you can do the 70% off on the. You can also do the 70% off on the bundle as well. I have a bundle for both courses as well. So. Thanks, Nikki. Everything is well. Yes, for sure. So, yeah. And also then, of course, the most important one of them all, I would assume, is the Nuke Indie license as well. So I'm going to just get out of the way so I'm not in front of the QR code. So that is the giveaway that our sponsor Foundry is giving away. So that is a free Nuke Indie license, which is worth £500. So I'm putting the links of everything here on the chat. If you guys want to check it out. So that's pretty much it. Okay. Remember also that later today, I'm going to be playing a game. So I'll be here around 7 or something playing A Quiet Place. Now, A Quiet Place, this game has if you guys watch the movie, the monsters attack you if they hear any noise. The cool thing about this game is that they've put there's a microphone on the PlayStation 5 controller, and so whenever I whisper or I talk or there's noise, it will go off and then the monster kills me. So it's been really fun to play on YouTube this, because last time I did it, there was a fire, it was the 5th of November, and so there was fireworks outside, and then the fireworks activated the sensor, and then I died. And then someone on the chat was trying very desperately to make me laugh, and then I laughed, and then I died. And then at some point, my wife sent me an SMS, a message, and then it pinged the phone, and I died as well. And even at some point, the chat even told me, say Alexa, and then I said Alexa, and it kind of pumped something on my on something. So it's been really fun, because it's really hard to play this game without making any noise and still being streaming. So I'll be doing that today again. It'll be a nice challenge to try to play this game without making a pip. Anyway, so let's play some music. Yeah, Siri, play some. Yeah, that's what you did, isn't it? Because you said Siri. It wasn't Alexa, sorry, it was Siri. You said Siri, play some music, and then Sabotage from the Beastie Boys started playing. And I was like, oh, great. And then I died. That was such a fun stream. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Bjorn again, and so we can continue the breakdown of this thing. I'm just going to open up Zoom again. Where is Zoom? It's all the way there. Okay, why is it over there on that monitor? That's a bit weird. Okay, I'll open it up here, and then I'll send Bjorn the link again to bring him in. I will. Yeah, Wells is also like telling me that he's watching my stream. Thanks, Wells. How you doing, man? I will be playing some games from 7. So yeah, so I think Bjorn is already here. Let me just double check here. Join with computer. Admit. Hello, my friend.
Hello again.
Hello. So sharing. This will be our last call since, like I told you before, I'm going to try to keep this to maximum 90 minutes to an hour. So to 2 hours. Sorry, 2 hours. That's what I meant.
Not the last call we'll ever have.
No, not that. not that at all. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be here for another 45 minutes. This construction, then we'll do giveaways. Reason also for that is because I have something I need to have still stuff to show on the last stream.
Yeah.
So we can't use everything. Okay, I'm sharing my screen, as you can probably see. I was sharing the DaVinci timeline anyway. I know, sabotage is amazing. Yes, it was so funny. But that was the music that played, and then I died because the music played. Okay, so as we were saying that we have background and foreground. So let's just start deconstructing this step by step. So the background obviously is the most important of them all, because it's the one that has more elements. And this is an ACES compliant render. I forgot to mention this on the beginning of the stream, that this entire script, this entire project from DaVinci all the way to Maya, Houdini, and Nuke is all done in ACES. And so we are using, at the time we were using ACES 1.3 ASO ICEO 2.1. That was the one we were using. And then the CG was ACES CG. And we were using Rexons 09 displays for previewing because this was going to be delivered on YouTube. And then we had basically from DaVinci an ACES, delivered to DaVinci on ACES CC, but it came from DaVinci on ACES Interchange, which is ACES 2065 to 1. So that's the color. And these CG passes are coming from... Was Houdini, right? Was it Houdini?
Yeah, Houdini.
Yeah. Exactly.
I remember on the first stream that I was on, someone was asking, like, did you do this on Unreal? Technically, it was started there.
Yeah, exactly.
There were just problems because I think Martin got this model and the textures, and he would have to redo so much.
Yes.
To get it to work.
Yeah.
There were like many technical problems basically that arose with it.
But we do have the other shot, 270 I think or something like that, which is the final shot, this one here. We do have an Unreal version of it because I asked Martin to render an Unreal version. So, and the reason I asked him to do that was because I wanted to have material for my courses and for my online streams as well. So we do have a version of this in Houdini, of this shot that you're watching on screen, and also of Unreal of the same shot. And it looks kind of similar, but of course it's a bit lower quality than the Houdini version. Okay, and so these are all the passes that we have. We basically have everything on from the Redshift setup. So just going to go through them real quick. We have a fake ambient occlusion here that I do like to have to make it a little bit more shadowy and to make it a bit more gritty. Of course, we have the normals pass, which was not used on this script. But it is good to have if you need, especially if you need to do position passes and relighting, especially that if you need to do some kind of relighting.
I also have the layer contact sheet.
Yes.
Right beside the note if you want to show it that way.
I don't think. Oh yeah,
they're on the side.
Yeah. No, well, but this is too tiny. It also takes way too long. No.
Yeah, it's too many to load.
Why is it not loading though? Oh no! Wait a minute. That's because I wasn't.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why. Yeah, so just give me a second. Okay, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, so these are kind of like the ones. RGB, of course, Z-depth. Now, this Z-depth is the anti-aliased version of the Z-depth, which is used for the fog. We're going to talk about that in a second, which is exactly like the Z-depth, but it's graded. So it's like basically a ramp, and it's anti-aliased and filtered just like the regular render, so that you have very good edges for the fogging. We also have a Y ramp, which is the same exact thing as the Z, but it's from below to above, so it's the opposite direction. And this is for you to do lingering fogs. And then, of course, we have the global illumination pass, and then we have the diffuse dome, which is the main dome of the sky. Then we have the diffuse sun, which is the main light source of this project. And then, of course, we have the fake ambient occlusion that I was talking about. We also then, of course, have the normals, which we ended up not using on this project, but it's quite handy to have if you need to do something with relighting. The position pass was also not used because at some point we have a deep render of this project, and so I don't need the position pass to the point cloud because I have the actual point cloud from deep, so which is a lot easier and a lot more accurate than this position pass. We then have a puzzle mat. This is the old school object ID with just 4 colors, which is red, green, and blue, and white, and alpha. And
this was done because with the Cryptomat, there were so many different. We had to select so many things, and then it was not giving us this. Like I, for example, just wanted the green one or just the blue one, and it was just Cryptomat wasn't getting it correctly for me because it was selecting material, and technically the material goes beneath what you see.
Yeah,
like so it was. You would have to do so many steps and to not like just get this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like Cryptomats, don't get me wrong, and I've used Cryptomats in my career many times, but I just find it a lot easier to deal with object IDs. Maybe it's because I'm old, but you don't have to do so many shuffles, you don't have to do so many channel merges, you don't have to do so many subtractions, and you don't have to deal with any edges whatsoever. It's just there. That's the color, that's it. And so I do prefer to have 3, 4, 5 different object ID passes than having one single Cryptomat. I do prefer that. But that's, of course, you guys can do whatever you want, of course. I'm sure it sounds old school that way. This is the velocity pass, which we did use for motion blur using the vector blur of Nuke. Velocity pass in Nuke is very limited, so it's really just Y and Z, and it doesn't really, Y and X, it doesn't really have a Z component. So the velocity pass, you should use it with some care. Like this shot was a moving shot sideways, and so we were just going from left to right, so there's no Z involved, and so there wasn't a problem. The motion blur became beautiful. But if the camera was like dollying in, or if imagine the camera was like going sideways and then suddenly going in to the shot, that would have been a problem because the velocity pass is very limited whenever you have a Z component into the movement. So yeah, that's really what it was there. I wish that the Foundry would make a new vector blur node. I just hope that comes through. Maybe I'm wrong. Foundry just released the Nuke just 2 days ago. I haven't checked that Nuke, but I don't believe there is a new vector blur. Otherwise, if there was a new vector blur, I think they would have tweeted about it. They would have mentioned it on the release on the top of the page. We have another repeated Y ramp, not sure why, and we have not sure why we have a second one.
I think he made one like the seat depth, so it's like what's it called, like anti-aliased and not, or like
that's
because
probably
he did 2 seat depths, right?
And you're right.
I think he did just the same thing with a Y ramp in case.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. We have another normals. This is the bump normals in case you need to relight something with according to the bumps. Not sure how accurate this is because, of course, a lot of the processing with bump maps kind of happens through the render process. So sometimes the bump normals don't match up with the real render because there is some magic happening in the bump during filtering that happens that is not visible. especially if you have instances and especially if you have materials that depend on the normals maps to actually become a material. They might not even show up in geometry. So this is not very accurate sometimes. Then we have the beauty. This is just like the RGB. And then we have basically, we have the auxiliary dome, and then we have the auxiliary sun. So these are different. Wait a minute. Yeah, so they're pretty much the same, I think, than the dome in the sun. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember top of my head. We'll go through it in a second.
Diffuse and the auxiliary.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. I can't remember because I'm not going through the script. And then we also, well, I mean, I don't need to go through this entire thing. It's quite. Well, the other will be the where you will have the depth, the actual depth, and you will have other stuff there as well. Usually there's only the depth, but we'll check in a minute what else is there. I don't think I've used anything but the Z there. We also have the diffuse. We have the diffuse filter, which is just like the actual straight diffuse with no colors or shadows. We have the straight raw diffuse as well with nothing except the material, the core material of the scene. And then we have, there's a couple of them that are not here for some reason. And then I don't think they exist in the shader process.
Yeah, we don't have a emission.
Exactly. That's why they are there.
No lights.
So they could have been switched off, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not a problem of it being there. We have a GI raw as well here. And then we have a GI dome, which is very, very subtle, but it's there. And then we have a GI sun as well. And then we have more object IDs, even more object IDs. And then I think we have, let's see, even more object IDs, a reflection pass, a reflection filter, which is nothing more than just a mask for the raw reflection, which is this one here. And then we have a reflection dome, a reflection sun, a refraction, which is just the water, really. I think I need to go a bit further to actually see that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Because it's previewing like 10,000 ones, and I have this open. You see, I have this thing on here. Apologies, everyone. I'm just gonna try to leave. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna do it like that, and now I can see the water probably more clearly. And then wait, I'm still thinking. Okay, cool. That's done now. Is that going to process anytime soon? Yeah, there you go. So now you can see it on the refraction there. That's the water body there on the refraction, which is only refractive materials, which is normally water. We then, of course, have the reflection and refraction of all the water body. I don't believe we use this. I don't think I went this granular on the comp. I don't believe so. And then we have... yes, go ahead.
I think you did on either... On the reflection, you might have
just
done
the reflection,
something.
yeah.
I can't remember which one.
Yeah, we'll go through it in a second. Then we have, of course, the shadows and the speculars, and then, of course, the specular dome, which is the part of the reflection setup, specular sun. Scattering we don't have, of course, so none of that is on. There's no skin on this project, and so that's it. And so these are the UVs that we got. And then apart from that, we also had some cryptomats as well. So besides the object IDs, we did have cryptomats as well, which were these ones here. And then we had also object cryptomats. So we had basically material cryptomats, and then we had object cryptomats to help us with anything else extra that we might need.
As you can see there with the floor, like it's hard to select the same ads as we got in the other thing.
Exactly, and that's why we did the object ID, because it was a bespoke. Basically, what happened here was we needed a bespoke mask that went through this metal bar here and into the break, so that we can actually cut between there. So we have like, I'll show you the object ID. So the object ID is where is it? Shit. So much stuff here. My eyes are getting broken.
Puzzle mat.
That's right. Puzzle mat. It's not that one, of course. Why would it be that one? It's probably... let's see. So it'll be that. No, wait a minute. It's probably the other one. Wait. It's a bit too fast.
No, those are the ones in the... so it's...
There we go. That's the one.
Puzzle, yeah.
Yeah,
floor.
so you see this connection here is what we were after, to try to cut the floor to merge it. And this is incredibly difficult for you to have it automatically on the Cryptomat. So we asked Martin to do this as a bespoke mask that we needed to combine the masks there. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so yeah, I see the chat is chatting about about displacements. They're having a nice conversation about displacements. Okay, so that's it. Main CG comes into the script, and basically we go in here. We do have a 3D system. I don't believe I ended up using it, but we do have the deep here in case we needed it. And that could produce a deep. I don't think it's linked, though. I don't believe it is. Is it? No, it's not linked.
No, it was an older version.
Exactly. And so...
But, like, I think the older version links with this one, because he didn't have to re-render it because it's the same camera move, same setup.
Yeah. So it would have been version...
I don't know. Like,
I don't think it's here. I don't think that's the path. That's the thing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We didn't use it, so I'm not gonna. But it was here in case we needed to have the deep to help us with it. I did thought that I was gonna use the deep more than I did, mainly because I was expecting to have some atmospheres and some particles to merge with the deep, but we ended up really not using it that much. I think. If I'm not mistaken, if I go all the way down here, maybe I am. Just give me a second. So yeah, I ended up not using it. No, I did. Sorry, I did. I did. That's right. Now, guys, it's been a year, so trying to remember this. No, we did use the deep to basically cut the atmospherics so that we could have this, like the atmospheres. I think it's one of them. Can't remember which one it is. Is it this one or is it the other one? Why is this not doing anything?
Is it
sorry,
out of range?
No, it's because I was on the puzzle map. I was looking at the puzzle map. So basically these atmospheric renders were processed with deep so that they could be cut off. I think it's this. That's weird. Wait a minute. Let's just double check here. What's happening here? I'm getting ahead of myself anyway because we're not supposed to be doing this part of the script, but I'm just like curious to see if this is actually here. If it's not, I'll go and find it. It's probably somewhere. It's been a while since I opened this thing. Let's give it a second. Deep is really heavy, so even though the computer is quite powerful, it's still not that fast. Yeah, now I remember. So this was a particle system that was created. I believe it was a particle. That's why it took so long also to even show up. So we at some point had a particle system, and then that really didn't work. And then we ended up having multiple dust particle pass, like renders from Action VFX. Well, there were elements, and then this became like the cloud of dust that we did, and then that got cut by the deep to actually do a deep merge so that the objects would cut out the CG. But we'll get to this in a minute. I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes.
I just want to answer like Mikhail.
Yeah.
Like he was saying with like we could use the Cryptomat and normal filtering and all that, but like if you can't talk to your 3D artist and he can't do it with a click of a button, or like it's probably more than a click of a button.
Most likely.
But for me, it's a couple of clicks on the keyboard asking him for it. And then, like, because I'm lazy, of course. And then I get what I want without, like, me having to use shuffles and filtering and whatever. Like, of course, when you can't, like, it's not going to be another render, I would always use that. Like, find a way.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Just like
completely agree.
I needed a specific thing, and he could do that. At least what he told me, easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully, I didn't add a day to his work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's continue with this. So as we go in through here now, this we don't use today, but I've talked about this many times on these streams, on my channel and on my videos. This is often something we do by minusing all the AUVs one by one until we get the result, which is usually whenever we have like problems with the shaders. There's always like, imagine if the material is not compatible with the shading system of the AUV export, then you need to minus everything to get the result of what was left over, so that's pretty much
basically it's making a rebuild the passes you have, at least the passes you need to make the beauty. Then you view your result and view the beauty, like from the main beauty.
Yeah, exactly.
See if there are like lighting difference or whatever difference, and like usually if it's like a minor lighting difference that like almost doesn't, like you almost don't see, but you see when you A/B it.
Yeah.
Then I might leave this, but like then you can use this to like then minus the passes you're using, and you get what's missing, and the beauty should be correct then.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely.
This like we usually do this to like locate things, but like then again, we would talk to the 3D artist and like ask him to like find out what he can do to get it, so we can build it correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick mention that someone Ed here on the chat is asking, how will compositors work in an era of real-time compositing? Well, I mean, Ed, it won't be any difference from what we are doing now. I can tell you that. Even if this entire thing was in real time, you would still be messing around with edges and messing around with positions and messing around with clients' feedback. It's just that it will be a faster iteration. Kind of reminds me a little bit of how it used to be in the 2000s, where we had flame artists and inferno artists and smoke artists, where they would have a very, very fast system to actually play around in real time with compositing. But of course, back then that was SD resolution, and that's why it's not really capable of doing that in 4K. But I don't believe it will be much difference. I mean, if this entire thing was in real time, I mean, great. Then it's previewing on the viewer in real time, and then I can just move things around even faster. So I think the difference for me, I would say, Ed, is that instead of you maybe comping one shot, you're comping 5 or 6 at the same time, because you can do so many more shots at the same time because they're all in real time. I welcome real time. I wish it was all in real time. It would have been so much faster for me to just imagine if I now press this play button and it would just play. It would have been so awesome. But no, look at it. Look at it. It's so slow. It just caches forever. So yeah, I wish this entire thing would move completely in real time, and it would never even start. We would have to not wait for anything, and not even have to render it,
For instance, on my system, I would do this, and then the buffer would start clearing itself out. Like, so you at least have enough to like build it all and like playback it. On this shot, I had to do it in sections to see
it.
Like,
playback. Yeah, exactly.
Or like render it out.
Yeah. And that's really because I have enough RAM for that. I still have 300 gigs free right now. And so I have more than enough RAM to cache this entire thing and actually still be streaming and still doing the Twitch stream and still open even another shot at the same time. But this is a thing of the past, really, to be honest. Like, I think the RAM thing, the more things become real time and the more things get loaded into the VRAM instead of the RAM itself, into the GPU, then we are going to be facing more about having a lot of VRAM instead of having a lot of RAM itself. So I think the real-time endeavor will never be around RAM, which I mean, you can already have that in card. I mean, my GPU, I have 2 graphic cards on my computer, and both of them have 32 gigs of VRAM. So we have 64 gigs of VRAM. It's not a lot, but it's a lot in terms of graphic cards in the world, because I don't think there's graphic cards that more than 64. But so it's monumental for a graphic card. But if you think about it on loading a scene, 64 is not much. 64 gigs of VRAM for you to load an entire Houdini scene and run it in real time, it's not a lot. So we still need to go a lot further in having a lot more VRAM and much faster VRAM for us to actually be tackling a shot like this in real time. I think we're still quite far from that, but it's coming for sure. It's going there.
And having it photoreal.
Exactly. That's the other thing as well.
You can't do that with like non-photoreal stuff.
Exactly.
But like having it actually photoreal, so we're not there.
Exactly. That's the thing as well. And even Unreal, as much as it looks cool and it looks quite good, it still doesn't really hold up if you start doing many things at the same time, and if you start really messing about with certain things. And in fact, like, Unreal is really cool for the whole CG environment, but if you want to bring in a person there or an actor, and you want to load the actor into the scene, that's going to become a can of worms, because it doesn't really have a facility to do that. And so I still think compositing still to this day is still really pretty much done in Nuke, because Nuke is still the only software that can really handle these things really in a much faster way. But it's a matter of time. I'm sure Unreal is looking into that. I hope they are, as well, and give some competition to the Foundry as well. That would be awesome. So to answer your question, I wish this entire thing would run like this. You see, I'm pressing and I can play it, because now I'm playing it from RAM. But I wish that this was just looping, and I could still continue working on my nodes and tweak my nodes, and this would just be looping, just like you do on Unreal, and that would be, that's what I hope we have in the future. Yes, you're absolutely right, Lloyd. VRAM on modern Macs are shared with the system RAM. So yes, it might work once we get to the M4, M5, you even say the M8 in the future. It might get there. I don't know, man. I don't know, because you guys all need to remember that, yeah, we get there, but then something else happens. It's like we got to real-time compositing with Flame, but it was on SD, and then HD came along, and then we're fucked again. And it's the same now, like, oh, we're gonna get there in 4K, and then 8K comes, and we're fucked again. And so we keep getting there, and for a short amount of time we're in real time, and then some other revolution happens, and then we are screwed again, and we are again back to the dark ages where nothing is in real time. So we keep doing this all the time, because this thing with the resolution is an obsession, so it won't stop, like, I mean, Blackmagic has 12K cameras for sale, so like, it's just like, they are there, you can shoot them, not that anyone is going to do anything with it, but trying to do real time.
There's still like what you get with the Sonys and Alexa that are, for instance, like 6Ks, and even when like Alexa was 2K and you would go on a Blackmagic that was 4K, you would not have the same crisp image.
No, I know.
On those two sensors. Like so it's also difference between cameras. And then there were like Blackmagic cameras that were like a lot crisper than the other one. And
well, and it's not just the resolution as well. Like, it has to do with the glass that is in front of it as well, and the lens that is in front, and that might bring some softness into the image, more diffuse into the image. There's all sorts of shit that happens that makes the image less crisp and more crisp. And the problem though is, like, if you are really if you try to load Unreal and try to make a 12K render in real time in Unreal, you're not going to do it. Like, basically there is no VRAM, there's no graphic card in the world that would outstand that, because you can't really, I mean, NVIDIA hasn't made like a 20 terabyte VRAM card. That doesn't exist, so you need so much data, because 12K is going to be, how much is more? It's like,
I don't want to do math.
Yeah, because HD was 4 times to 4K, and then to 8K would be another 4 times. So 12K would be 8 times the res. So basically it would be 8 times more power that you would need to run 12K. So imagine that, guys. Like, we now have, like, already we are tackling 4K, and now imagine you have to have 8 times more power to run that, so, and it's coming. And that's why I don't think, this is also why I still think, always this conversation, oh, do we need CG artists? We need compositors. We need people. Yeah, because we're going to get into a point that we're going to, I mean, go ahead and try to run a AI-based image thing in 12K. It's not going to happen. So it's, I don't know, brute force and render time and resolution is still very much an offline technology. There's no way around this yet. Maybe in the future there is, but for now, you know, and things are just going to get worse. You saw Blackmagic is about to launch a spatial camera where you have 2 lenses of 12K each. So it's like it's a spatial stereoscopic camera with 12K each sensor. So it's like, okay, now we have 2 of them in 12K, not just one for the left and the right eye. So so it just becomes a bit of a mute point, I think. It just becomes a problem. I'm here like, and you guys, and also that there's also a lot of fuffing around going on. Like, you guys probably noticed this number here on my viewer. We are delivering in 6K. We're not rendering in 6K. Fuck no, we're not doing it in 6K. We rendered it in 3K, because you can upscale it. You know,
Yeah.
like. You know, so that's the thing. You should upscale it. Go ahead, do it. Go for it. You know, you should
like
not...
at least test it, because you'll save yourself like
Yeah,
at least some.
because
You might miss out on a couple of
Yeah.
coffees, because you can always wait when 6K is rendering.
Exactly, because think about it. You guys pick up the render. Imagine you pick up the render 4K and then you start blurring it. Like, you basically start putting defocusing and you start putting depth of field, you start putting motion blur. By the time you're processing the shot, it's not 4K anymore. It's like really soft. And so trying to making it softer by rendering less pixels, it would usually work in a really good thing. It would actually work to get the softness of a film stock, you know, almost. So I still think that works. But anyway, we're just talking and I'm not really going through the script. Apologies for that. So it's going to be quite quick now, because this is just a normal rebuild. We basically start with the GI. I usually like to have the order of kind of like material, lighting, reflection. It doesn't really matter the order, by the way. You can put it on whatever order you want, because it's a plus operation. But I like, from a logical point of view, to start with my core materials, and then I start bringing things up into it. So we have the global illumination, which in this case I just have the GI. Ended up not using the raw at all, because I wasn't really going to change the GI. And this is plussed in to whatever we have on the beginning, which is nothing. It's basically just it's this. So it would be just the beginning of the shot. And then after that we have the diffuse. Now the diffuse is split between 2 different main things. We have the dome diffuse, which is the sky, and then we have the sun diffuse. Now, again, here I made a choice of not using the raw because I didn't need to. And so it wasn't really, it is here, you can see it, but there is no point of me trying to fuff around with trying to do that, because it's just going to add to more processing to the shot. It doesn't need to happen. So I have a little bit of color correction on diffuse, not much. I just gammaed it up a little bit, both on the midtones and also on the gamma. I don't believe I changed the curve at all. I just wanted to like give a little bit more detail into the black levels of the shot. That was it. That was the only. And of course, this adjustment is really only possible for you to witness once you look at the whole thing here. So this is the entire thing. And so if I now go ahead and disable that and enable, because when I'm working, I'm of course working when I'm looking at the whole shot. So this is the amount. You see, it's very subtle, but it's basically just giving it a little more bump into the light. And it's not much, but it's just enough for it to be more clear for you to see it. Basically giving it a bit more image for the color correction to happen. Then on the diffuse sun, which is the strong sunlight thing that we have here, I did a color corrector, which was also very subtle. I think it was only a little bit of a pump on the midtones. And then I also had, this is nothing, no. I had this, which was, I'm not sure why this is here. Probably was something that I did, and then I took it.
Usually I would have a note like this. Like that you were like playing around, like you're moving things around to trying to figure, should I do this? Is this like
exactly
working? And then you reset it for some reason and don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like you can always see in my scripts, I'm so paranoid, like even though I have versions, I like keep the note to the side or disable it still in the stream. And like
I know.
Just a weird thing that I do.
And this is a common practice that you guys need to remember that this is a production script. We're not doing a tutorial. So this is the actual script we delivered. And so, of course, it's filled with dead ends. This is what I call a dead end. It's basically just doesn't go anywhere. I do have a glow here, and this glow is literally just like set to the effect only so that I could have I've played around a bit with the tolerance, the brightness, and the saturation and the size to get me just the highlights of that sun, and then I'm screaming it on top. So basically what I'm getting here is the typical effect that you get when sun hits a really bright object. It scatters light, and so I'm basically faking the scattering of light. And this also, especially down here on this back here, you can kind of see how it scatters through there. Now the result of that would be this. So if I look through here, which is there, so if I take it out, you see, it just gives me enough to do this. You see there? It bounces the light in underneath the bridge, which is what the lens does anyway. So this is the type of stuff that you should be doing as a compositor, bringing in as much optical effect as possible into the shot. And this should always be done in a way where you're looking at real life. So basically I've used images as my reference. You know, I take a lot of photos, as you guys probably know. I take a lot of photography. I take a lot of photos in my life. And by taking photos, you start understanding what happens when light hits. And that's where this comes from. And it works really well here, actually. Because
it also helps with that, trying out, like, shitty lenses as well.
Yeah.
Like when you take photos, like go to a thrift store or wherever, buy this like shitty old lens that you can like mount on your camera.
Yeah.
And like, even though it's not like high grade lens, you can still like see how dirty it makes things.
Yeah,
as well.
Exactly. Absolutely.
I've done that.
Absolutely.
That also gives you ideas on how to make it, like, especially for this one, this is also more creative as well on top of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, again, like, it's just a little detail, but you see, for example, this thing on the floor here, that looks very much CG, but then when you start putting diffuse, it just becomes a bit more realistic, because you get like this sense that the light is wrapping around the object. That's pretty much what I'm trying to convey that. And that, of course, is being done in the diffuse, because that's where my main light effort is, and so I don't want to do that in front of top of everything, because I don't want to apply this to a reflection, for example. So that, of course, gets merged into it, and then it gets merged into the GI. So now we've built the GI and the diffuse. And by the way, a little warning, Bjorn, that you're going to be cut off in 3 minutes. And I'll just give you we can just join after. And if it doesn't work, I'll just give you a Google link. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Because I want to at least get to the end of the AOVs here. And then we can continue something else later. So basically, as we go through this, then we have the reflection. Again, an option here that I could have done the entire thing of having the dome in the sun and the reflection, but I kind of became a bit like, why would I? Look at it. Like, just look at the reflection of the dome. There's just nothing here. So it's so subtle, so subtle, that it's not even almost worth looking into. So I ended up just using the raw, which is the way that I could control the reflections a bit more, because I have more detail in the reflections instead of having just the reflections. And I ended up just color correcting the reflections. I pumped the reflections up, so I have a little bit of a gamma 1.1, a gain of 1.1, and that got multiplied. And then I still have a little bit of a glow, a different type of glow. This glow is more scattered. It's basically with less tolerance and with less size as well. So it's instead of being very large, it's much more narrow as well. And those two things develop this. I'll show you on the final result here. So if you go to the pre-mold here, that's what it's bringing into the table. So am I disabling it now? Yeah, I should be disabling it now. So you see there, that's the extra that I'm bringing. So that was the original water, and this is the new water with more pump and more reflection.
No, you're also disabling the...
Sorry, that's right.
Should have them merged, this one on, and then just disable the other.
Yeah, it's this one and this one. Apologies, everyone. Yeah. Those are the two that I want to disable. So this is basically the amount of reflection, and this was not necessary, but I just kind of felt that it looked better by having a warmer tint into the water. I don't even. I'll be honest. I don't even remember why exactly I did that. At right now, top of my head. But at the time it looked better. Right now, comps usually go either way. Sometimes you might just like go on a different direction, then it looks better that direction as well. A bit of a warning, Bjorn. You're probably gonna switch off very soon as well, so you know. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so once we get to there, we then go into the refraction. Now, the refraction, again, made a choice of not using the domes and the suns. I didn't really feel like we needed to complicate this shot so much. Still have access to it if I needed to during the script. But we ended up doing the raw water with the filtering, with the mask. And then I basically just color corrected it. The color correction, yeah, and now Bjorn is gone, so I'm going to bring Bjorn again. Apologies for that, guys. I keep explaining this on all the calls that I refuse to pay for Zoom because of the way they basically okay, they don't let me do a Zoom call. That's fine. I'll do it on Google. I refuse to pay Zoom. They've increased the price so much and offered 0 extras on that increased price. So I just refuse to pay it. So I'm using the free Zoom. I'm not ashamed of saying I'm using the free Zoom because I couldn't care less. They don't deserve my money, so they're not going to get my money. So I'm going to continue using free as long as I can because I don't think they deserve this, you know. So start an instant meeting. I'm just going to start with Google. So nothing to be ashamed of. I know. I am not ashamed of it at all. I just feel like I'm so tired of these companies doing whatever the fuck they want. I'm so tired. And they've increased the price like by 50% for no reason whatsoever. And no, not using Zoom anymore. So I'll use the free Zoom. That they will have. But it's, of course, limited to 45 minutes, you know. So, but it's okay. We have Google Meet, which everyone loves Google Meet. Google Meet is our favorite. But at least it's free. So, well, it's not free, really, to be honest. Hello. It is not free. Google Meet is not free because I do pay for it. It's included on my email account, my business email account. So technically it's not free. But it's free-ish, more than Zoom anyway. Because I have to have my email anyway. So I do have to have that anyway. Okay, so you're back here, Bjorn, and we can see you as well. So let's carry on for a little bit longer. Now, as I said to everyone, I don't want to carry on this stream for too long because I do often get comments from people telling me that the streams are too long and they prefer to have a shorter video so they can watch later on. So what I will do is I think we'll wrap up the UVs, and then remember I still have one last stream in 2 weeks for doing this, for deconstructing the rest of the script. And that will be the last stream I will be doing before I go to Japan and go into the World VFX Day event in CinCraft as well. So let's just wrap up this UV setup, and maybe what I would say, Bjorn, is I'm going to go all the way to maybe down here to the pre-molt where we go through the UVs and then to the Z.
Can you share your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I'm sorry.
Or I can watch your stream and always be a bit behind.
Apologies for that.
No problem.
You'll probably see it now, I think. Soon, at least, I think. Do you see it now?
It's loading. Yeah, it's here.
Okay. I'm just going to do a little bit of the fiddle here because you see, this is really awkward. Google thinks that you want to have the same image here. Not sure why. It makes no sense. No option to remove it. So, okay. So we'll just do this. I'll just like move it to the side or something. It's so stupid, this interface.
Now I can wave again.
I know. Okay, so that should work. We can still see the Goonies. That's the important bit. Yes. Very important. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was saying like maybe we just wrap up the UVs and then wrap up this fog setup, and then we stop for today. And then next time I will go through the rest, which is not much because well, it's the other side, which the CG is the same, and then of course the stuff you already did, which is the roto and the paint, which we didn't really do much here on the script, except some tweaks. So let's just continue here with developing this thing here. So Okay, we were on the refraction. So refraction is done. So that was the extra that I had there, and that kind of built this up. So that's now done. And then the specular pass, we have just the straight specular. Ended up not using the separation of the dome and sun of the specular. This was really handy if you wanted to change some kind of color. Imagine if you wanted to put a more orangey sky, for example, instead of having a blue sky. You could really go in here to the specular dome and actually change the color temperature of this sky and still have the actual specular, which is not the same blue tint. So it is very handy to have these things separated. But I ended up not using it, So I know, Mikhail, that you like long streams, but I don't know if everyone realizes, but it is really tiring to do a stream. I am exhausted when I finish a stream. Even if it's just an hour or 2 hours, I'm absolutely exhausted. And I think it's because I'm looking at the chat, doing the compositing, talking with Bjorn, looking at that recorder, looking at that screen, looking at the stats. Like, I have so much in these on this screen. Like basically, you guys, I have the chat going here, then I have the compositing here, then I have Bjorn over there, then I have like the camera set up there, I have the recorder there, which, by the way, it failed during the stream, and so I had to replace an SSD while I was doing the stream. You guys didn't even notice that, but I did that while we were doing the stream, because I have to keep an eye if the recording is going on or not. And then at the same time, I have to look at the graphics, seeing if the Twitch thing is still going. Then I have the OBS up there, which has also given me stats for where it's going. And then at this side, I then have my controllers for the sound, and also the screens that I show with the giveaways and everything. And then I have the chat with Bjorn to send him the links. And then down here, it's the Twitch thing. So all this shit is happening at the same time while I'm talking to you guys and doing the Nuke compositing. And I tell you not, man, when I finish, I am exhausted. I am so tired. So trying to make these streams 2 hours long, and that's it, like maximum, because I become so exhausted, It's really tiring. I just wanted to like everyone to know that, and that's why we're probably going to wrap up soon. It's very different from like playing a game, or like if you're playing a game, you just relax. You're just playing a game. You're not like checking all this shit at the same time. So the worst in my life was the World VFX day, which was 12 hours long.
And you're doing that again.
I am, but I am doing it in Japan, and I have assistant. I have a person helping me, and I have an IT person there because I'm doing it in a company, So because I'm doing it inside a company, I will have people helping me. And Haley will be next to me as well, so we can both be and do breaks. And I think it's going to be a lot easier.
Yeah,
we're going to be in the same room, both me and Haley. So that means she can pick up and I can pick up, and we can do breaks in between. And we have an assistants from the company, from Megalith. They're going to assist us as well and help us. So I don't think it's going to be as exhausting. It's still going to be tiring, but it's not going to be as exhausting as last time. Yes. Yeah, so you see, guys, everyone is always asking me, why do you have so many monitors? I just showed you I have to have so many monitors because I have so much shit to look at while I'm doing this. This is like doing a TV broadcast by myself. So it's not easy. Every time you guys see a stream on YouTube or on Twitch, please support that person. It's not easy to do this. It's not easy at all. It's a lot of work. So the next time you think about that, don't give it some more respect, Anyway, going back to this. So specular here, as I said, didn't really separate it, but then I kind of like color corrected it, not much. Again, the typical, a little bit of gamma and gain, just a little bit more.
I think you just have a preset for a color corrector that does the same thing.
And then I put a different type of glow to the specular. Now, again, this one does have a tolerance, and it's not 100 like the other one is 50, so it's a little bit less spread, but not as narrow. And this was basically the specularity sun that hits usually the cameras. So if I go in here, I don't think you're going to see it much, but it's going to be very subtle. Everything adds up, of course, at the end. So if I disable both of these things, you see that is the effect that it does. It just removes some of the specular. It removes some of the diffusing that is happening only on the speculars, not on the full image, but just on the speculars. And for those of you asking, why don't you just do it on the entire image, is because if I would have never been able to do a tolerance that would work for the whole image. I would start picking up glows where I didn't want to pick up,
because it's picking up, of course, like brightness, and they're trying to like, and then you could do a tolerance for it, and then you like have one tolerance for everything.
Exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly what Bjorn said. That is why I separated, and that's why I have 3 different glows, which sound ridiculous, but there's one for the diffuse, which is for the light source. And then there's one for the reflection, which is just the reflective materials. And then one for the speculars, which is just the really bright specks of that reflection. So they all have kind of different tonalities of glows and scatter. And for those of you that were like, I don't remember the name of the person that asked this, but the person that was asking about real-time compositing, this is what I think real-time compositors are going to be doing. Like you would have the scene loaded up live, and then you would have a slider for the glow of the reflection and the glow of the refraction and the glow, and you would be able to have those sliders, and then as you move them, they would just change automatically. That is at least my dream. That's what I would like. Now, this glow is not exponential. No, I didn't really thought that it needed to be exponential, Mikhail. You're asking on YouTube, but I don't think it needed to be exponential. Not for that one. OM Brito is asking me on Twitch, is your workstation the Mac Pro 2019? Yes, it is. It's 5 years old now, but still running really good. This is the workstation I have. I have a spec'd out Mac Pro with 28 cores and then 2 graphic cards. 2 AMD Pros with 42 gigs each. So I really recommend this machine. It's really cheap now. People are throwing it away quite a lot, but this machine is an 8K machine. It's amazing. It's really fast, and it has a lot of PCI Express cards as well, so you can have a lot of PCI. So you can really get it. I would say that you can get a Mac Pro 2019 now for half price. Like then I paid $10,000. I paid $10,000 for it at the time. I would say that you can get it for $5,000 now or something like that.
I remember when it came out. If you would spec it out, it costed $50,000.
That's because of the RAM, yeah.
Yeah, like if you would like put everything to the max in it, it was just like an absurd price.
Yeah, exactly. No, but people like to have those kind of like like if you really look at the memory here, people like to have those kind of hyped things. But you see, I have 12 RAM slots of 384 gigs of RAM each, and so these 12 slots of DD4 RAM, I didn't buy them at Apple because yes, if you would have bought this from Apple, it would have cost like $10,000. I actually bought this RAM from another company, like from a company called Mac. It's an American company, Max. I can't remember the name of the company, and it cost me like 20% of the price that Apple was charging. And I've always bought RAM, and it's proper ICC spec'd memory. It's like server grade memory. But it was just like 20% the price of the real one. And I really recommend people. And so when I ordered the Mac Pro, I ordered with the lowest RAM I could have. So I ordered it with 16 gigs of RAM. That was it. It only had 60 gigs of RAM. So it was a ridiculous spec for such a big machine. But then I bought the RAM on another company. I think it's really worth it to do that. Okay. Hey, Gabriel, you're saying that you have the PD425U monitor from BenQ on your Christmas list. Well, if you want, send me a message. I can give you a discount. I have like a discount because I'm an ambassador. I can give you a 10% discount if you just message me or something. I can do that. Okay. Oh, you guys think you can find it for $2,000? Well, if you can find a Mac Pro for 19 for $2,000, you should buy it. You should definitely buy it because it's worth it.
Repurpose it and sell it for $5.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you can buy my Mac Pro 2019 for $2,000 because I have it filled with stuff.
Or at least you wouldn't sell it for $2,000.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, just the graphic card alone is worth $5,000. So I don't, because I have 2 of them. So I don't think it would be My machine probably is now, I think, like 5,000 or 6,000. It would be worth. Not that I'm selling it. I'm not going to sell it, but because the thing is, like, I still think it's so powerful. I don't really need it. I think I'm gonna use it until I can't. So I think at some point, macOS will stop supporting it, and then of course I have to get a new one. But that usually is like 7 years that it takes to do that. So I will at least have another 2 or 3 years with this machine, I think, and then I'll get a new one once I can't upgrade the macOS anymore. Which is coming, of course, because they want to get rid of all the Intel machines, of course. Anyway, going back to this then we have a little thing here that Bjorn left for me with the color correction. I usually do have color correctors here. I ended up not putting any. Ended up like this would be general color corrections on top of everything. I ended up doing my color corrections layer AOV by AOV, so all my color correction is scattered through the UVs. So,
but this is, of course, like you're putting the glows in there. Sometimes we would just put the glows in the global one.
Exactly.
And like, so it's all different from shot to shot and what you're doing and what decisions you take at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys want to see the difference now, this is the original render and the result. I'm just gonna just show you the result. So this won't be. I'm gonna just disable this for a second because I want to see the pre-multed version and the non-pre-multed version. So this is basically this is the raw CG that came out of Martin, and this is the comped CG. So basically, very subtle, but as you can see, there's like some tonal shifts. So there's some diffuse lighting going on with the sun. There's like some atmospherics getting blown in, and this just helps to overexpose a bit and give it a bit more realism, especially because you get this scattering of light everywhere through the shot, especially down here on the shadows. You get like this type of light wrapping thing that's going on through the outside into the tunnel. So that's pretty much it for the result of the color correction that was done in AOV. And I'm a big fan of color correcting with AOVs. I think it's definitely the best way of color correcting CG. So instead of color correcting on top of everything, No.
Yeah, it involves, for me, like when I've had to do it, when I just, for example, just get the beauty or whatever, it just involves more masks or anything and everything. So like you have to split things up so many ways just to get what you want. Like,
absolutely. Okay, and now to wrap up this stream, I'm just going to go talk about this. So this is all being driven from those passes that I was talking about. So we have 2 passes that were used through this thing. We have the Y ramp, which is this, and we have the Z ramp, which is this one. Now, these are just like Z-depths. The difference is that they are fully anti-aliased and filtered. So you can see the edges there. They're as high quality as the real render would be. So whatever anti-aliasation, and not only that, but also the bump and all the geometry instances and all the bump mapping, everything is on as well. So this is what happens here is that because Martin picks up the shot and he just makes a material that is a ramp, and that material is feeded into the entire scene, and it's through the perspective of the camera. So it's a ramp of white close to camera, black far from camera. And the blackest thing will be the furthest object, and the whitest thing will be the closest. We don't have anything white because, of course, as you saw, it's a bridge. It's still far from the camera. It's not really close to the camera. And this is really important when you develop this. You need to do it with all the instances. You see the grass and all the leaves and all the vegetation, even the water bumping and in these vegetations. This doesn't show up on the ZDAP. It only shows up if you do a pass like this. So this is the only way to do a pass like this, is to actually make one bespoke. The ZDAP pass will not do this correctly because the edges won't match. And so I always ask my CG artists to do 2 of them. I have a Z one and I have a Y one. So the Y one is just like the Z, but it's from below to above. So basically it is quite nice to use. So if you look in here, that's the one. it's quite nice to use to do lingering fog, for example, or color corrections of that kind. Now, this custom pass is the same as the custom Z depth. It's basically with all the instances and all the bump maps and all the displacements that we have on the scene, including the water materials and everything. Everything has to be on for this to be working. Otherwise, you're going to have a mismatch when you do color correction. So, and yeah, so yeah, Rec is saying that on Twitch. It's basically what you said, camera space ramp Z. So that shader would work, absolutely. It would be a similar setup to what Martin did here. It is very, very similar. And it's incredibly powerful. And I'm going to show you guys why. Because sorry.
You're on the red.
Yeah. What you do here, so I have two sets of grades here. One grade is grading the pass itself. And then the other grade is grading the image. So the first one is just adjusting the pass. So I'll show you that. So if I go to my ZDAP pass here, not that one, this one, you can kind of see that if I don't activate this depth here, that was the original, and this is the new one. So the only thing I did here was I tried to fake so that it was white in the front instead of gray, so that wouldn't be so much effect on the fog, because because of the gray nature of it, I was bringing too much fog into the scene, and I didn't want to bring too much fog to the scene. So this was color corrected, and this was picked. I picked the black point and the white point by using the color picker. That's why you have three colors. This is black and white, so really the red is the only thing you want, but actually they're all the same. But it was done by the color picking, the blackest thing and the whitest thing for it to actually be transferred into the new black and to the new range that you're trying to do. And then this one here, basically here, this one is doing this. So this is the actual grade node, and this grade node is affecting the image on the lift, which is the black levels of the image, which is where you usually put fog. And the mask is the Z ramp red, which was affected by this grade node. Now, if you wanted to keep a original Z ramp, you could have made a new channel. You could have made a new channel called Z ramp graded, and then you could have kept the original Z ramp. I didn't need to do that because I knew what I was doing here, so I didn't need to do that. But this is what's happening here. So this is the distance fog, and as you can see, it's just giving me enough of a blue tint to make it look like it's far away. And this is the typical atmospheric level that you get from an object that is far, and usually a dry, sunny, desert-looking thing. That's usually what you get. Chose blue to make it a bit colder, so that it was industrial and a bit like more winter kind of level, you know. So that was why I went with blue. Never mind the sky, of course, because it's going to be replaced, of course. So never mind the sky. This is being applied to the whole image, and then the sky will be used with the alpha anyway, so it doesn't really matter that it's there. Now, the same exact process is being done with the Z, with the Y. Oh, wait a minute. There's another one here. Oh, I did two of them? Maybe I did. Oh, yeah, I did two of them for some. I don't know why I would do two of them, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I did. This is a bit stupid of me.
No, because you did one for the fog and one for the exposure, and because
that's
the
right.
Fog,
that's right.
You're
Yeah.
inverting it.
You're right.
Oh,
you're right.
No, you're doing it on the other one.
Yeah, I could have. This is a bit stupid. I could have had this multiply here. So I'm not sure why I did it, the two of them separately. Again, I'm doing this in production. I'm probably adding nodes and not even noticing that I've added it. So it's fine. This could have been done in one. It didn't need to be done in two. So it doesn't matter.
But sometimes it's good to have these, especially when you're like AP and you want to see what this one is doing and the other one. And
yeah, because this one is really the blue distance one, and this is just exposure, really. So it's a very different thing, really. They are doing two different things. Okay, and then we have the Y. So the Y here, this is again the same thing. We're looking at the red channel here. This is just just a second.
Did we have two Y ramps?
Oh, this is probably my mistake, because this should have been the Y, not the Z. I probably just replaced. This is probably me moving. I probably moved the mouse. My computer is very laggy, so I think it's kind of lagging all over the place. So this is what it should have been. So wait, oops, fat fingers. So basically I have that much. Not much, but just getting the white to be pure white so that I wouldn't affect there, and black to be pure black on the back. So it's literally just what we call the contrast. That's it. And then the image itself, if I go to the RGB, this is how much it's bringing in. So basically, as you can see, it's only on the bottom area, and it's not affecting much on the top. And yeah, that's it. Well, it's affecting the top, but it's not affecting as much as at the bottom. And this is really just to give it a sense of even more atmospheric lingering on the bottom area, almost like gases or like some leftover atmospheric that is lingering over the water on the main body of water. That's pretty much it, really. And then I guess then we have a shuffle here. Now this shuffle is pretty much us bringing in the original alpha channel, because I always am very, very scared of the alpha channel transformations that we get. And by the way, if you look at this, you can kind of see that the edges of the alpha channels might start breaking. And it doesn't happen on this one, but it happens very often because of some rogue merge node or some rogue multiplication that you've done. So whenever we're doing this kind of project, we always have an alpha channel that is protected. In this case, it's called original alpha, so it's a separate alpha channel. And this is the raw alpha channel we got from render, and that's the one I use for pro multiplication. So that means that it doesn't matter how many merge nodes, how many color correctors, how many things you've done here, you'll never destroy the alpha channel because it's in a separate shuffle node. It's in a separate channel. And so then I replace that alpha, the original, into the new alpha, and that's what gets pre-multiplied. And that is then, in a way, what gets merged into this sky that we have here. So it would look like, where is it? It's down here. Yeah. We'll go through this in the next stream, but that's what would then be merged. And after here, this is really me just being tidy when I'm comping. I remove all the passes I don't need anymore. And this is not necessary, but it does help because of two things. First, you get less here, so you can be a bit more tidy, so you can see less stuff happening here. The other reason as well is when you put imagine you put a grade node and you put like this to all by mistake, you're then processing it on all channels instead of just the channels you need. So it will have an impact in performance by having so much AUVs. And so I remove the shit that I don't need anymore, so I usually tend to do that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So, and that's it, Bjorn. I think that's it for today. We're gonna, I am pretty tired, and so I'm gonna stop for the moment, and then next time in 2 weeks I'll continue and wrap up the rest. This section doesn't need to be covered again because it's pretty much the same as
it's the same thing, just foreground.
Yeah, I want to talk about the light wrapping and
thing.
Yeah, I want to talk about the light wrapping and also the SD map setup and also the depth of field setup, and then I want to talk about how we brought in the roto paint and rotoscoping and masks and the shadows. And then really there's the atmospheric, and that's done. The shot is done. There's not much more there. So I think only one more stream and it's over this shot. Okay, cool. So I think that's it really. I don't want to bother you anymore. So
no bother.
I do apologize that it took, as usual, longer than I thought it was going to take. But that's usually the case.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, as always. I really enjoyed it. I'm trying to put this in a way that we can both be on the same screen. I can't make you bigger here because, of course... I need to
if I don't need to see your screen...
Yes, that's right. I need to do it on the other screen because that's where it is. So just a second. Yeah. Stop presenting. Yes, there we go. Now we can make it. But look at this funny thing. Now, I can't make it bigger. It can't be bigger than this. I don't know why. Doesn't matter. So Bjorn, thank you so much again for joining me and for helping me with deconstructing this thing. I'm going to basically gonna go and do the giveaway, and then do a like just go and rest a little bit, and then I'll come back. I'm gonna come back to play the game that I'm playing now on stream, but I won't come back until like 7 or something. I'm gonna rest for a couple of hours, and then I come back to the stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bjorn, thank you so much, my friend, and it was always
Thank you for having me.
It's always lovely to talk to you, and it's always lovely to go through the projects. Yeah.
Be a bit nostalgic about work.
I know. Since we're not really doing a project right now. So we're waiting to see if we can find a new project. But we're really. So I know what you mean. I'm also nostalgic about that as well. But I don't think we're the only ones. I'm sure a lot of people on this chat also is not doing any work, because there's not a lot of work out there. It's really quite tricky right now. So. But yeah, people are saying thank to you as well. So say thanks, Bjorn, as well. So it's
Thanks,
always
Bjorn, as well.
It's always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. So
Okay.
And I'm sorry it took you so long. It took so much time of your day.
No problem.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, my friend. Bye. Bye. Okay, cool. That was awesome. Okay, so we are going to wrap up this stream. By doing the giveaway. That's pretty much it. That's the only thing left on this giveaway. I am very tired, as always, when I'm doing these streams. But just wanted to everyone to know that I will still be back later today. So I will be doing the stream of this game that I was mentioning, The Quiet Place. If you guys watch the movie, this is really cool because on this game, my microphone is on. And if I make any noise, I will die. So this is really cool. It should be fun to watch that. I'm going to be doing that at 7. So in about an hour and a half from now or something. Wait a minute. Did I lose signal? Just a second. I think I lost signal. I think it went down, my script. Did my stream went down? Well, YouTube is back. Is Twitch back though? I think it went down. It was just a momentarily glitch. Don't go anywhere, everyone. I'm still doing the giveaway. Oh, yeah, it's back now. I think it just had a little moment or something like that. So, yeah, I'll be playing this at 7. It's going to be fun. You guys need to promise me not to make me laugh because otherwise I'll die. That's what the chat was trying to do that last time, trying to make me laugh while I was playing this game. But I'll be doing that. I need to rest a bit, so I'll be back at around 7 or something. The live link is already on the chat. It's already not on the chat. It's already on the redirect. So once my stream finishes, it redirects directly to that. But if you guys wanna come back there, you can go through here. So I'll be on Twitch and on YouTube on that link specifically. So I'll put it on the screen here. So I'll be on that stream at around 83 minutes from now, or something like that. So that will be that link. I won't promise that it will be at 7. It might not be exactly at 7. These are just relaxing streams that I'm doing. So it's not like really to take anything seriously. I'm just playing with the chat. That's it. Anyway, let's do the giveaways and get the hell out of here. So we have, let's see, how many people do we have? I'm going to start with the giveaway of the Nuke course. We have 40 people for the Nuke course. Let's get the winners here and see what happens. Let's see here. Draw the winners. So, and I'll put it on the screen so you guys know what I'm talking about. So that would be that one. So that one, like that. So that's the giveaway we're going to do now. In case you still want to come in, there you go. That's the link. If you still are late to the party, to the giveaway, that's my Nuke course. Remember, I've put it on the chat now. Remember, if you're interested, my Nuke course is 70% off right now. So you can buy it really as cheap as it ever been. It's never been this cheap. And you can also buy the bundle, and it's also 70% off. So which is cool. Okay, let's draw the winner for the Nuke course and see who wins this thing. Okay. So I have, let's see here. Hopefully they are here. I hope they are. The winner of the Nuke course is... Should be careful not to share their email. That would be not good. Okay, cool. So the winner of the Nuke course is Lionel Del Piccolo. Sounds Italian. Not sure if it's Italian, but sounds Italian. So Lionel, you've won the Nuke course. Congratulations, my friend. You've won the Nuke course. Not sure if you're here. I hope you are. If you are here, please let me know. I've posted it on Twitch and also on YouTube, so you can let me know on either place. Oh yeah, there is Leo. So Leo, are you already a student of mine? If you're not a student of mine now you are. So yeah, cool. That's great. Congratulations for winning the course. And if you're a student of mine, I'll just give you the workshops. It's not a problem. Now, remember it's on screen. You're Argentinian Italian. Okay, I see. Makes sense now with that name. Okay, so congratulations, Argentinian Italian. What a potent mix. That's a really potent mix. You must be cool. No, but was considering becoming. Cool. Well, now you don't have to buy it. Now it's free. Now you are a student of mine. Remember, of course, it's on screen as well. If you still want to be part of my course, it's 70% off. Just use the code Halloween for you to get the 70% off, okay? So don't forget to use the code Halloween to get it. Now, let's get the giveaway for the Nuke Indie license to go. So that's the... keep putting me on the wrong place. There we go. I don't want to cover the QR code. So let's get again, this one is sponsored by Foundry. So Foundry, thank you so much for being such a sport and actually giving his licenses on every stream. Thank you so much for doing that. So let's see here. Who is the winner of the Nuke license? The Nuke Indie. The Nuke Indie goes to, again, need to be careful not to copy paste this email to the chat. Okay, so Nick Dorn, that's the winner of the Nuke license, the Nuke Indie license. Nick Dorn. So Nick Dorn, are you here? Hopefully you are. Please don't forget to plug your wife's cooking book. Okay, I'll do that. Hey, because you asked, here it is. Hey, you're joking, Justin, but the book is really good. Can tell you that the book is really good. I'm really proud of her, and I will never stop. I will always promote her book because I think the book is so good that I think it deserves to be seen and to be tried. People deserve to watch these recipes. So that's why I keep plugging the book all the time here. That's you? Okay, how do I know that's you? Oh yeah, it is. Sorry. Yes, that is true. Because your email is very similar to your username. So yeah. Oh, you're joking? You love it? Okay, cool. Thanks, Justin. Thank you so much for saying that, Justin. Yeah, so Nub, congratulations. Yeah, I can see it's you. I can see the name here. So excellent. So cool. We gave the Nuke license. We gave the Nuke Indie license. That's all good. It's all going well. And I just wanted to thank everyone for being here. As always, it's always a pleasure to have you guys on these streams. I'm going to rest a little bit now, and then I'm going to be back at 7-ish to play this game and try not to die with the chat. Because the chat is going to abuse me to try to get me to talk. I'm sure. So that's it, really. I am going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Here we are once again, another stream. I'm sure this is the first stream in the world that is being broadcasted on a CRT monitor over there. That is my retro CRT monitor. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you all. And remember, next week we have the showreel reviews. That's what we're doing next week. I'll put it on the screen. Maybe I should do that. Where is it? Did I lose it? No, didn't lose it. So don't forget that next week we are going to the showreel reviews. That's the 14th of November. And then the week after that, we are going to finally finish the Zeiss shot on the last deconstruction stream of the year before CinCraft and before the World VFX Day. I'll see you all later. And if you guys want to see me die on a game, I'll be back at 7-ish on the stream here. So if anyone wants to join me, relax a bit. It's Friday. Open a beer and watch me die on this game. I'll be dying many times, I'm sure, on the Quiet Place, the road ahead. The Quiet Place, the road ahead. Okay.